Hi, I'm Brianna, and today we're going to talk about my cruise wins and regrets. This channel is about entrepreneurship. Why am I talking about going on a cruise? Well, if not for this cruise, I don't know that there would be any prospect of a business in 2020. I'm depressed. The weekend after Christmas, I cruised from Galveston, Texas to Cozumel, Mexico with my in-laws. That was my third cruise. My second cruise with my husband and my first cruise as a parent. Since it's been so long since my last cruise, which was about 4.5 years ago, I watched a lot of videos to prepare and just make sure I remembered all the little things about cruising. Therefore, I'm letting you know what of those tips I came across and I knew from my own experience actually helped me. We're gonna go through all the things that worked out really well for me, and then we'll circle back and talk about the things I wish I had done a little bit better or I wish I had prepared for. If you're interested in entrepreneurship in addition to cruising, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It's about my journey as an entrepreneur, building my business, and going through this whole roller coaster of self-discovery and personal development. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing that I'm very happy I brought on the cruise was actually a surprise for the group. So since it was my in-laws, I wanted to do something, I wanted to contribute to the experience kind of as an outsider, but I was also a little nervous about it. It turned out really well. I made these t-shirts, which say the Scoggins Set Sail Cozumel, Mexico 2019. And this was a surprise. I got all the sizes right. Thank you very much. And I also gave them lanyards, which is really important. You will want to bring a lanyard because they're so convenient. I actually was too cool for school. I didn't use one of these. I used this lanyard I have from something else. The card was already pre-punched, which I don't know was the case on other cruises, but this was super helpful. Everyone's wearing lanyards. You can either bring your own or you can buy it for $10 on the cruise. I will link all the products I was able to buy. I'll link them below, and this is one of them. It came in a pack of 10 and there was a rainbow of colors. So that was a great choice. If you want to make family t-shirts, I recommend not choosing blue or red because everybody has blue t-shirts. I mean, red would have been a little better, but definitely everyone has blue. Now in the stateroom, there is only one outlet, so I'm really glad I brought a power strip. This power strip came from Dollar Tree, so my husband and I were able to charge our phones at the same time. This was a great product to bring, but apparently it's not supposed to be a surge protector, so just make sure of that. I'm really glad I brought water bottles. Well, I brought several things. I brought my Yeti, I brought a coffee cup, and then I had an actual water bottle. And I think this is my husband's. I think this is really great because while they did provide huge like liter bottles of water, they put 2 in the stateroom, you still want something you can carry around. So I could get ice in my cup and bring it down. Now you can also bring the cups from the Lido deck into your room, but I just like having my own. And especially with one of the other tips that we'll talk about, it was good to have a cup. And when you go to the beach, you do not want to be drinking Mexico water, I do not believe. So I was able to bring a water bottle so I could have something to drink and not pay $5 for a bottle of water. Speaking of going to Mexico, in Mexico, when we got off the ship as well as around the boat, I was really happy to have this fanny pack. This is a very spacious one. It's deep, 2 pockets. I have another fanny pack that's a little more narrow and it's pink, so I didn't want to bring it. This worked out really well because I was able to put my phone in it and whatever I needed for my son, hand sanitizer, just super easy. So I recommend having that, and it was nice to have when I was in the port. Speaking of cups, I'm really glad I thought about bringing cups and utensils for my son. I don't know why they didn't have anything for kids. Like they didn't even have a little cup with a straw for him. So, I mean, he can drink out of a cup, but with kids, you just want to like make it a little bit easier on yourself so they can feed themselves. So I'm glad I brought that. Speaking of cups with straws, they did not have straws. So if you buy a drink, there's no straw for you. If you have a frozen drink, they will give you a straw, which looks like this. Let's open it. It's like a edible straw, but you don't really want to eat it. So if you're like me and you like to have a straw, bring your own straw, not a plastic one. You can find the metal ones or rubber or whatever, but that's probably a little detail, a little obsessive detail I would pay attention to next time. Speaking of drinks, we did not fork over the cash for the drink package. Right now, the drink package is $51.96 or something a day, per person per day. And both people, everyone in the stateroom has to get the drink package. And I just was like, I'm not spending $400 on alcohol. I don't really drink that much, so it was an unwise choice to me. So we did something a little against the rules, and we got rum runners and brought our own alcohol. I think a lot of people are probably watching this video for this information. The last time I went on a cruise, we put whiskey in like an apple cider vinegar bottle. My friend who's been on 25 cruises told me to get these. I'll link it below. It was a pack of 6, and it was more than enough to last my husband for the duration of the cruise. We tucked them really neatly, securely, covertly into our clothes, and there was no issue. So that's an option. I would really love to be able to just buy the drink package, because almost everybody else, there were 11 of us, including my son, almost everybody had it except us, like us and 2 cousins, but they were drinking off their dads. So I just kind of felt poor. I wanted to be smart about packing this time. Packing is very anxiety inducing for me. I think because of the possibility of missing something and then like not being able to be prepared. So I'm horrible at packing. This time I decided to try to like put stuff together more. While I was at the Dollar Tree getting that power strip, I got these storage bags. I got a box of extra large and large, and or extra large and medium or something. One had 2, one had 3, and I was able to keep my suitcase neat, and I also could easily take those out and put them in the cabinet and just put my suitcase away. So I'm happy I brought that. Also happy that I brought this roller bag. This is a Mary Kay product. I'm sure there are some other ways, but I have this one because I'm a Mary Kay consultant, but I hadn't really used it. I thought this was awesome because I could just pull this off, and this stayed in the bathroom. The bathroom is very small, not a lot of counter space. So I could just leave this in there and put this in the closet. So that was awesome. I also brought laundry bags, which I don't really need to show you, just a mesh laundry bag so I could put all our clothes in there and then put it away in the closet, and then my husband could just like keep asking me where that bag was. There are a couple other things I'm really glad I brought. One is the pack and play. We weren't gonna bring it because Carnival can provide one for you, but my friend went on a cruise with her 1-year-old in May, and her 1-year-old is a lot smaller than my son, who is almost 2, and she said it barely fit her child. So I brought a regular size pack and play, and we had a regular base price stateroom, and it fit in there, and everything worked out great. Other than that, I did bring this passport case that I saw in another video. I believe it holds up to 4 passports. Isn't that cute? This was handy to keep everything together. You do not need a passport to go on a cruise, but we have them, so that's what we brought. And when you're disembarking, you need to have this out. This is great to keep it all together. We actually left this in my husband's luggage, which was taken away the night before we got off the cruise. It didn't make a difference. When you initially disembark, they'll scan your sail-in sign card, but by the time you actually need to show your ID when you're going through customs, you will be with your luggage already, so we were able to get that. Now we'll talk about things I regret not bringing. Let's start with any sort of Lysol products. You guys, I bought this because I'm about to go on another trip, and heaven forbid I have the same experience. The bathroom smelled like pee. It smelled like a public restroom. So I just wish I had any sort of Lysol spray wipe to spray in there and wipe down the toilet myself. Also, my husband was grossed out, so he just put towels all over the bathroom floor each time, like every day, so that he didn't have to walk on it because it smelled bad. So I'm trying to have like a nice, an experience. You on a cruise, it's all inclusive, so you want to have an experience of like privilege. But when you have a bathroom that smells like a public bathroom, it kind of brings that experience down. So I wish I had thought ahead on that. I did think about it, I just forgot to get the wipes. Now, I also wanted to use this trip to focus on my entrepreneurship and my business, because I'm always complaining about how I have all this other stuff on my mind and I can't, like, there's too much on my mind. Well, there wasn't too much on my mind, so I just wanted to focus on business and plans. So I didn't bring a lot of stuff to do, but I did download some books to read. Unfortunately, I didn't actually download them to my device. I like to use the Libby app or the Overdrive app to download digital books, ebooks, or audiobooks from the library. And I checked the books out, but I didn't download them, causing me to have to buy the internet so I could download them so I could do what I was trying to do. Plus, I'm doing the Bible reading plan, Bible in a year, so I also had to download the Bible so I could read it. I didn't want to waste 5 days where I could be reading. So don't forget to download your books and put it on your Kindle if you have one of those too. We forgot to bring a stroller. I was planning to bring a stroller or the Ergo Baby, the carrier, but we forgot both of them. My son is almost 2 years old, so he's not really somebody you want just wandering around, nor does he have the stamina for it. What we ended up doing was having to we had to buy a stroller. We stayed at someone's house close to Dallas, and she ordered a stroller for us. It was an awesome stroller. I'll link that below. But you definitely need a stroller for getting on the ship, getting off the ship, and when you're in port, because that's just too much for a child to be trying to walk, or you trying to carry your child. I was very grateful we had that, and I wish we had just brought one because we had a nice stroller at home too. Umbrella stroller, that is. Speaking of being at the port, I did not locate a beach bag. It would have been nice to have a beach bag. My husband did have a backpack that he likes, so that was fine. But don't forget your beach bag for your beach towels, and they do have beach towels in the room. Speaking of my toddler, I forgot to bring toys. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I was thinking there's lots of family around to entertain him, but it was also an environment where you have to wait a lot, where there's lots of sitting, lots of stimulation. So I really should have brought toys for my son to play with. I did buy some toys at a gift shop in Cozumel, which got me through the rest of the trip. But don't forget to bring your kid toys. There's a lot going on, but you're still gonna have to be able to keep them quiet. Another regret is that I did not bring adequate skincare. I was mentioning my skin wasn't how I wanted it to be, and that's for 2 reasons. First of all, my whole holiday was 10 days. That's 10 days in a regular diet, 10 days of being in different environments, and maybe environments that are kind of polluted because so many people are there, and not drinking water. And I was in the sun, which I just basically avoid the sun. So I needed to take care of my skin. Unfortunately, I failed to bring adequate skincare. So I usually use Mary Kay Time Wise 3D. And I have this little travel set. It's got 2 more pieces to it, but I forgot to refill it. So I'm in here using Dove soap on my face, and it just wasn't good. I also really like to exfoliate, and especially with all those things I listed, I would have needed to exfoliate, and I didn't bring my brush. So I couldn't do a charcoal mask fast enough. Don't forget to take care of your skin when you're on a cruise. Speaking of cleaning stuff, I wish I had brought some dish soap, because my husband used my coffee cup to put his alcohol in. Also, when you bring alcohol, you can also bring a case of soda. and you can bring a bottle of wine. So he mixed the soda with the alcohol, and then he got ice in the cup that I brought, and that's how he enjoyed himself. But I wasn't able to really wash that out because I didn't have dish soap. I also didn't bring laundry detergent. I actually did bring it, but I put it in the pre-trip bag and it didn't make it into the trip bag. As a result, I had to go on a goose chase for laundry detergent. The laundrette on my floor had the dispenser, but it was empty. So I had to run around trying to find a laundrette with detergent, and I ended up getting charged for it 4 times because I kept putting my card in and then it would say sold out. So I had to go to guest services for that. So bring a Tide Pod or whatever it is so you can do your laundry and not have to worry about that. Lastly, my husband's luggage went missing. We didn't really realize it was missing. It was just that his mom showed up to our room with his suitcase and it had been abandoned because his paper tag came off. So I recommend either getting those luggage tags, like you can order luggage tags for specifically the Carnival tickets, or tape it with that clear tape. I don't know, what would you call it? You know what tape I'm talking about. Tape it completely to your bag or kind of laminate it so that it can't get ripped off. I don't know what we would have done. We had no idea why it was taking so long, and she said she just saw it like randomly on her floor, which was not our floor. I hope you find those tips useful, and if you have anything else to say or any other questions, put them in the comments. I did watch so many of these videos even though I knew most of the information, so I'm just adding my story to the pile. I will make another video about the strategies I enacted to try to make the most of my time, because, you know, there's so few times in my life at this point where I don't have to cook and clean, which was my chief enjoyment for the cruise. So look out for those, and after that we'll get back to talking about entrepreneurship. If you're interested in that, go ahead and subscribe. Again, all the products I mentioned are listed below. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your cruise.